Hi students, good evening all of you. Welcome to Sri Ramanja Vidya Mandir, a temple for learning. Children, in the previous lecture we discussed about magnets as well as types of magnets and how electric current affects magnetism. Okay, so children, in the previous class we discussed about Oersted experiment. In that experiment, that scientist proved that whenever there is flow of current through any conductor, around that conductor there is production of magnetic field. Means a flow of electric current can create a magnetic field. Okay, see children, let's recollect. Let us consider a charge, children. Okay, charge, it will be in two states, static and dynamic. Okay, see children, in dynamic again there are two cases. The moment of charge, dynamic in the sense the moment of charge. Here in this static, the charge will be in rest. Charge used to be in rest, and here in dynamic, charge used to be in motion. And again, here there are two types, children. In one case, acceleration will be 0. In another case, acceleration not equal to 0, which means the charge accelerates. The motion of charge is what? Accelerated motion. Okay. So here this comes under see children, acceleration not equal to 0 means the charge moving with some acceleration. Okay. Here that movement of charge produce electric field and magnetic field, children. Okay, magnetic field as well as electric field. Okay, so one subject, children, whenever the charges are accelerating in a conductor, there is production of electric field as well as magnetic field. That magnetic field in 18th century, in 1820, okay, scientist Oersted proved. Okay, accidentally he came across this one while he is doing some experiment, but later on with some proper theoretically he proved that okay, there is a production of magnetic field around a current carrying conductor. Okay, see children, current carrying conductor. Current means what here? What is current? Current is nothing but rate of flow of charge. Okay, rate of flow of charge. See children, here charge means there is flow of charge. Flow in the sense it is moving, it is in motion. Whenever it is in motion, it should have some acceleration. In that case, it has both magnetic field as well as electric field. Okay children, so this is the basic fundamental. And this one, see children, both will be perpendicular to each other. Both magnetic field and electric field, they will be perpendicular to each other. Okay, angle between them will be 90 degrees. And this combination releases energy, or we can say like this, it radiates energy. Okay, so see children, next if this is current carrying conductor, I am denoting current with I, children. Around this magnetic field will be like this, children. Okay, this one is what? Magnetic field. Okay, so in this chapter our complete focus is on studying this magnetic field. Okay children, this magnetic field we are going to study. Don't think the magnetic field which is around a permanent magnet. Okay, I shown you in the previous lecture some magnets which produce magnetic field on their own. I'm not discussing about those magnetic fields, children. In our chapter, our complete focus, the focus point actually magnetic field which is created due to electric current. Okay. So, okay, children, we are discussing regarding some of few key points regarding the magnetic nature of that magnetic field actually. One is reluctance, children. Reluctance means in general, reluctance means not accepting. Okay, not accepting. So here what happened, children? Opposition offered by magnetic circuit to magnetic flux. Okay, magnetic circuit in the sense, children, we can take example a simple circuit like a battery and two copper wires which were wound around a metal pin, whatever. Okay, some metal. That complete circuit we can treat as a magnetic circuit. Okay, if that circuit is opposing the magnetic flux to pass through it, then that property is called what? Reluctance. Okay, children, actually reluctance in a magnetic circuit stores magnetic energy. See, children, in previous slide I shown that combination of electric field and magnetic field, it stores energy. Okay, it radiates energy. That energy is nothing but what? Electrical energy as well as magnetic energy. The combination, the results in the energy, children, and that energy, that magnetic energy means that storage of that magnetic energy can be denoted with reluctance, means we can represent with reluctance, children. Okay. Very, very important point, children. Further I will discuss regarding deep regarding how reluctance stores magnetic energy. Children, see here in all if you see all the machines like any electrical appliance like fan or any motors, generator, electric bike, electric car, all motors, children, any motor, any rotating equipment, electrical equipment, it works based on magnetic field, not electric field. Though electric field also radiates energy, it also has some energy, it can also store some energy, but we prefer magnetic energy to electric energy. The reason is magnetic energy has a capability to store more amount of power, children. Comparing to electrical energy, magnetic energy has high capacity to store. Storage capacity is more. Okay, children, what is that storage capacity and all I will discuss in detail, okay, in upcoming slides. But that is the main reason, children. Magnetic energy has a storage capacity of storage. Electrical energy also has capacity of storage, but magnetic energy is having 200 times, approximately 200 times greater than electrical energy. So that's the reason you can see, children, simple example. We can easily identify magnetic field by keeping some magnet and RNPs, both will attract. Okay, strong magnetic field. Suppose if we take electric field, it is very weak, children. Okay, comparing to the magnetic field, we can't just simply do some experiment we can represent. Okay, simple thing is, suppose if we go near to any electrical appliance like TV, children, television. If we go near to the television, you can observe. See, children, suppose this one is television. Okay, if a person is standing near to that, what that television do means, it tries to pull this person due to its electric field around this television, children. Electric field used to develop. What that electric field do means, it tries to pull this body towards the television. The TV tries to pull that body. Suppose I am standing, it tries to pull me. Suppose if you are standing near to television, it tries to pull you. But instead of that, Okay, it tries to pull, but that much of capability that electric field not having. Instead, what's going to happen means at least it tries to pull our hair. That's the reason our hair used to rise. Means it whenever we are moving near to television, you can observe hair on our hand used to go, means it used to direct, our hair used to direct, and it will be directed towards the television. Okay. Next, permeability. See children, in electromagnetism, permeability is the measure of magnetization that material obtains. See children, I will explain this one. See children, suppose this one, let us take any cylindrical shape, a plastic, an iron piece, whatever. See children, I am taking here some plastic, any insulating body. Around this, just we need to wound some copper wire children in this manner. Okay, in a spiral, the winding must be spiral. And we should connect this one to some power source, some battery or a cell. Okay, now what's going to happen means this entire circuit, this entire system becomes magnetized. Means it attains property of magnet. It attains the property of magnet. See children, this rod, even it gets poles also, north pole and south pole. Means it behaves as magnet. That is called magnetization, and the process of developing magnetic nature inside any metal piece. Okay, by using electric supply, by using some electric current. Okay, so this condition is called children electromagnetism. Okay, so in this way we use it to make electric motors also, electric motors. Okay children, so in order to make any material, any object or anything into a magnet, first that material should it should accept the magnetic flux whatever we are giving to it. Only then it can become a magnet. First the material should accept that magnetic flux children. Okay, that material must accept. If it is not accepting, that condition is called reluctance. Okay, we can measure that in terms of reluctance. If it is not accepting, if it is accepting, how much it is accepting, that one we used to measure with permeability. What is the term children? Permeability. Permeability is nothing but how much extent a material can be magnetized. Magnetization children here. Okay, reluctance and permeability both are opposite terms. Like if you consider electric current, resistance and conductance both are opposite terms. In the similar way, reluctance and permeability are opposite terms. Permeability means accepting nature. Okay, that is more for soft iron. Okay, in response to a applied magnetic field. See children, permeability is the measure of magnetization that material obtains in response to applied magnetic field. See children, permeability is typically represented by mu children. Permeability we used to represent with mu. Okay, see children, not only in this condition, either if we can take like this also, like one magnet, okay, which is containing north and south poles, and an iron piece, and we need to rub this one. If the magnet we need to rub, then after some time what's going to happen children? That metal piece also become magnetized. Okay, when it can be magnetized, when that, if this condition is what children? Magnetization. The process is magnetization. If that metal piece is accepting that process, accepting, and it is willing to become a magnet, in general terminology children, if that metal piece in this process, if it is accepting, to become a magnet. That quotient we used to measure with permeability. If it is not accepting, that is nothing but reluctance. Okay. Next, retentivity. See children, retentivity means simply, first I will say, then we can go through the definition. Suppose if we magnetize, see children, in this example, if we rub like this continuously, what will happen? It becomes magnetized and it acts as magnet. And it acts as a magnet. Okay. Now, up to how much time it can maintain that magnetism? Up to how much time it can behave as a magnet? How much time? Okay. That capability to store the magnetic field is nothing but retentivity. Okay, children? Means after the material gets magnetized, even after removing that magnet, it must store some magnetic field inside. That property is retentivity, children. Let's look at the definition. The ability of a substance to retain or resist magnetization, frequently measured as strength of the magnetic field that remains in a sample after removal of inducing field. Simple, children. Even after removal, what it should do? It should remain magnetic field that remains in a sample after removal of an inducing field. Inducing field is nothing but the field which is making that object to become magnetized. Okay. Next, ability of substance to retain or resist. See children, retain in the sense it should see children, I am taking some iron piece and I am rubbing with magnet. Even after removing this one, okay, it should retain its properties. Okay, children. So that property is nothing but retentivity. Okay, it is if you consider any generator or in typical conditions, it became as a defect, children. Actually, we need to reduce that one, but we are using that property in making disk drives like CD, DVD, card reader, DVD. Okay, if you see CDs and DVDs, it works based on that property only. Okay, children, I will explain in detail further. Next, properties of magnet. See children, till now what we have seen is characteristics, permeability, retentivity and reluctance. Okay, that is different, and these properties are general properties. Okay. First one, attractive property and children. Attractive property and poles. Next, directive property and poles. Like and unlike poles. Poles exist in pair. See children, first I will explain in detail here itself. Attractive property in the sense, whenever there is presence of unlike poles, there will be development of attraction force between those two magnets. Okay, that is attractive property, children. Next, directive property. Directive property in the sense, or if you see compass, children, compass, always it will be aligned in one particular geometry. See children, or else simple. Take some U-shaped magnet. This one north pole, this one south pole. The line joining these two poles, okay, means always it will be directed between north and south poles, children. I will explain in detail with the diagram. And like poles means north north, south south. Unlike means north south and south north. Next, poles exist in pair. See children, poles exist in pair. Pair in the sense north and south. If we take a magnet, children, if we keep on dividing that one, even a tiny particle also it gets north and south poles. Monopole can't be attained at all. Magnet cannot be maintained with a monopole. Definitely there will be north pole and south pole. Okay. Next, repulsion is a shoot test of polarity. See children, suppose if we take a magnet and if we rub with some other metal piece, that metal piece gets magnetized. We need to verify whether it is magnetized or not. How we can verify? By attraction or repulsion. Repulsion is a shoot test. How? I will explain. Next, magnetic induction. See children, magnetic induction. Suppose if we take a magnet, north and south poles. For this, let us attach a metal piece. Okay, I'm taking a magnet, children. For that I attached one metal piece. Now if we take another metal piece, I'm taking some other metal piece, children, and if I keep like this metal piece also will be attached towards this one, like any pin or something we can try. Just take a magnet, children, takes two pins, attach one pin, for that pin attach another pin. Okay, understood, children? See here, this is first pin, this one second pin, this one magnet. First one is attracted to magnet, but second one is what, children? It is attracting to pin, not magnet. How it is possible? That is called magnetic induction. Okay, first see, children, this is what I discussed earlier. Here once observe, children, from north pole to south pole, once observe this pattern. There is some movement, some lines are moving from north pole to south pole. What these lines will do, children? They will make the magnets to attract towards each other. They make the magnets to move towards each other. Okay, that is nothing but attractive property. Even suppose, see, children, suppose if we keep south and south, then what's going to happen means they repel. Okay, not only north pole and south pole, children, even if we keep a magnet also, it can drag by using these field lines. Okay, see, children, here this one north pole, from north to south some lines were used to travel only from north to south. Okay, again the lines will be internally from south to north. Inside the magnetic lines used to travel from south to north. See, children, north south. Here externally the magnetic lines move from north to south only, external, but internally the lines used to travel from south to north, internal. Okay, due to this there is a development of attractive property, children, if unlike poles. If like poles, repulsion will exist. Next, directive property. See, children, see this one, what I am discussing. If we suspend any magnet like this in air, okay, it always rests in north and south direction. Means earlier I took a U-shaped magnet, children. For this one, a bar magnet, always magnet when it is freely suspended, always it aligns along north to south poles. That direction will be maintained, children, north to south. Okay, that is called directive property. Okay, why it is aligned like that means due to the influence of Earth's gravitational pull, or Earth also behave as a magnet. It also contains some poles. Okay, due to that geographical poles, the magnets use it to align in that direction. Okay, this is called directive property. Next, yeah, we know, children, like and unlike poles. If we keep north and south, they used to attract. If we keep north and north or south and south, they used to repel. Next, see, children, this one. Earlier it is a huge magnet. Okay, even see, children, here the bisection. Earlier this is the magnet. Now what happened means it was divided into two pieces parallelly. Okay, there is a division parallelly, children. Okay, in the second case, perpendicularly the magnet got divided. But the thing is, children, whatever, always the poles will be maintained. North and south, north and south. Okay, children, that is the property of magnet. Whatever may be the pieces we can make. Okay, as per our capability. Definitely, each and every piece contain north and south poles, whether it is horizontal bisection or vertical bisection. Definitely there will be what? Development of poles. Next, repulsion shoot test. Yeah, see children. North and south poles, this is magnet. Suppose if we consider attraction as a shoot test. Attraction, if we are confirming whether a metal piece got magnetized or not, just simply by attraction or attractive property, the problem is, if we take iron piece children, if we take iron piece, whether it is magnetized or not, definitely it will be attracted. If you take a metal piece, whether it may be magnetized or non-magnetized, definitely if we keep near to it, it will be attracted. So we can't confirm by attraction. Next, repulsion. See children, here the thing is, we need to confirm whether the magnet got polarized or not, means poles developed or not for that specific metal piece what we have chosen. Okay, so now repulsion children. See, for repulsion there must be opposite poles. Okay, suppose this is magnet and this is the metal piece. There must be development of similar poles children, means north and south poles must develop. Then only there will be what? Repulsion. Okay, and here if we keep south and north, definitely it will attract. That's why we are not considering attraction as a sure test. We need to consider repulsion only. Okay, next, magnetic induction. See children, I discussed earlier regarding magnetic induction. Let us consider this is a magnet. This is one metal piece, some pin. Okay, now take another metal piece children, another pin, metal one, and keep here. Definitely these two will get attracted. How it is possible children? First pin, it is in direct contact with the magnets, so that's the reason it can attract. That second pin, it is not in direct contact with the magnet, even though it is able to attract. How it is possible? Because that magnetic field passing through that pin, and that pin also gets magnetized. First pin, this first pin also, that first pin gets magnetized, that is, and this is becoming a reason to get attracted by the second. Okay, first we will take a magnet children. First we will keep one first pin. Next we will attach the second pin to the pin only, not magnet, even though it can attract. This condition is called induction. Okay, inducing, induction. Okay children, see here. We can do it, means at your home, if you have any equipment like this, like take a magnet children, take some pins like this, metal one, and if you can see here, one pin attached to another pin, one pin attached to another pin. Okay, this property is called induction. Okay, so this is regarding properties of magnet children. Okay, next, magnetic field and magnetic field lines. See children, if we take a charge, positive charge or negative charge, around the charge electric field used to develop in a concentric circle. Even if we take a magnet also, there will be magnetic field lines. There will be some magnetic field and magnetic field lines also develop. Okay, So regarding magnetic field lines, magnetic field, everything will be discussed in our next lecture, children. Okay, until then, thank you and have a nice day.